Bitcoin has seen more volatility in the last 48 hours or so. And in today's video, well, we're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis, given the fact that today is a very big day for the US. It's a big day for the crypto market. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think the price action might be gearing up for a move. So as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on with BTC. So here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the one hour Binance chart here. Now in the last video, we were looking for a long position here in BTC. We were obviously looking for a bit of a move to the downside first, okay, in the kind of falling wedge pattern. We're looking for the break to the upside. We kind of covered that off in the last video, right? So the target that we were looking for was between 67,150, 68,173, and our entry here on this was 68,160. Take profit 71,196, stop loss 66,138. Now, although this is in profit at the minute, we can still see that the 1 hour 200 exponential moving average is still the resistance area for BTC. And taking a look at this, I still actually think we're likely to move back down a bit further. So I'm going to actually say would come out of this long position. I'll remove it off the chart here and start to actually think about a long position a little bit further down in price. So we'll lock in those gains that we've seen and we'll move back into another short position, I think is the most probable. And then we'll go into a long for kind of the US election and everything going on there. Okay, so taking a look at our data here, momentum wise, we're up in the overbought area now on the 1 hour stochastic, so we will be looking for a bit of a move to the downside. On the relative strength index, we did rally up above the mid-level. A retest of some of these areas could be very interesting, and so we'll keep a close eye on the momentum of the relative strength index, because we still, to me, looks like we are in an upward move here on that stochastic, but on the relative strength index, sorry, and then a little blip here on the hourly before actually going up is potentially something that I would consider. Okay, now if we go ahead and take a look at the MACD histogram in relation to the price action here, you can see, actually look at this very interestingly, if this continues to grow here, we might actually see some bullish divergences. Okay, so we're not there yet. What we would be looking for would be essentially growth in the histogram here. Okay, we're not yet there. Obviously, we can see the decline here. We want to see, significant moves to the upside on higher histograms. If we do that whilst remaining lower than the 200 EMA, as in we do have that little push to the downside, then this is going to be bullish divergence. Essentially, lower highs but higher highs on the on the histogram down at the bottom here. So we're going to be thinking about potential bullish movement in BTC, in my opinion, here. So good to kind of see that kind of potentially playing out. Now, taking a look at this, we can think about the price action here and going in for a short position. We wouldn't that stop loss just above that previous swing high, obviously just up here, and then target out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio. That puts us right about here, and that would basically be what I would be looking for. Okay, so basically we're taking entry at market value at the point of recording today's video. That would be 68,678 or slightly higher if possible, and stop loss 69,538 with a take profit down at $67,382. Okay, from here we then want to kind of reverse that position into a long, in my opinion. We want to be thinking about that push up into those previous kind of areas of resistance, minimum kind of around 71,300, something to that effect. Stop loss, we want that nice and wide here because I do expect volatility, and we can't rule out some kind of major kind of movement. So we will be looking for the stop loss to be at least $65,000 in my opinion. So here we can see a risk reward ratio of 1.5. Actually, it'll be a little bit higher if I can lift that up to the 300, approximately right there. It'll be 1.6 on the risk reward ratio. Okay, so my approach on this 1 hour time frame for BTC would be that we go short into this little move and a little bit of volatility leading into the US election, and then I think we're going to be looking for a bigger break to the upside on that, so we go long for 1.6 risk reward ratio. Okay, so that's going to be my approach to trading the 1 hour time frame. And talking about trading, we have an amazing deal for you today. How does a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT sound? That's right, Blowfin is offering an incredible incredible promotion, but it's only available to the first 100 users, so you'll need to act fast. 𝗲𝗏, a top cryptocurrency exchange, is giving new users a fantastic opportunity. When you sign up using the special link in the description, you can get a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT in your futures account. And the best part, it's first come, first served basis. So the first 100 users to sign up will be the ones who can claim this bonus. Here's how you can jump in. Step 1, click the special link in the description to sign up to 𝗲𝗏. Step 2, once you're in, start trading futures. Step 3, you'll automatically get a 10% cashback bonus in your futures account, up to 2,000 USDT if you're one of the first 100 users to sign up. So what are you waiting for? This is a limited time offer, and only the first 100 users will get this incredible deal. Click the link in the description down below, sign up to 𝗲𝗏, and secure your 10% cashback up to 2,000 USDT before it's gone. Don't miss out on this amazing offer from 𝗲𝗏. Remember, it's first come, first serve. So hit that link in the description and get started now. Good luck and happy trading. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and roll this up into a daily time frame, right? Because on the daily time frame, we were, of course, seeing this bearish pattern. This is a rising wedge pattern. We're talking about this in the last video as well. Okay, so in here we have an overlapping nature of candlesticks, and basically we're narrowing down. So as price moves up into higher highs, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Okay, and it's kind of contracting down into this little move here. Now from here, I do suspect we are likely to get a break to the downside, but not before we actually probably move up into a new all-time high beforehand. Okay, so I do think we're going to see some green in the market all around the US election, and I'll go through that in a moment as to why I think that. But we can see here that this is kind of gearing up for a retest of the 50 EMAs, 50 SMAs, and then look for that next kind of bigger run to the upside, which I do think is going to be a catalyst from the US election. From these higher ranges, potentially new all-time highs, we'll look for cooling off and maybe even a break of this model completely. Okay, and that's the concern. Now, there's no guarantees in any of it, of course, but that's kind of one of the things that I'm paying attention to. Our histogram is also telling us that something big is about to happen. I was talking about that in the last video as well. Here you can see that we have higher highs in price, but we have lower highs on the histogram here. That's not good. That would be a bearish divergence. But at the same time, you are seeing higher highs here in our, or lower highs, I should say. Sorry. We have higher lows, if I can talk today, and we have the histogram also condensing down, showing weakness in selling, weakness in buying, and we're ultimately in this rising wedge pattern, which is going to be a catalyst for big change in the market. Okay, so something big is brewing for BTC, and it's just a matter of time before we kind of get there. So taking a look at our momentum indicators that are the divergence, we can see here that we've just come down to test out the 50 level. I suspect we're going to bounce from here. Taking a look at our stochastic, it's in the oversold area. We're looking for bullish momentum on the daily. Okay, so we are looking for a bit of a run, and I do think that's what we're going to find on the US election. Now let me run through why I think that. Roll this up into a weekly and bring in my Bitstamp data. Okay, on this Bitstamp data, you guys would have seen this before. This essentially is all of the history of BTC broken down into the US election years. We go ahead and clear out some of this noise. Okay, so here we have back in 2012, an election year, then 1 year after, 2 years after, 3 years after, election year, 1, 2, 3, election year, 1, 2, 3, election year, 1, 2, and of course, you know, go into the future. Okay, so we have 4 election years on our data, 3 have completed and 1 that we're currently in. Okay, so we have 2012, 2016, and 2020 are the 3 Bitcoin election years. Okay, so what's going on? Well, if we take a look at 2012 as a clear example of kind of what we would see that the US election happens right around here. Okay, and we see a bit of green in the market. That is followed by a bit of a stagnant kind of end to the year, and then we get into inauguration day, and we see massive surge to the upside for price action. Okay, so we have US election day, green in the market, but nothing much, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe, and then we have a cooling off in the market, and then inauguration day, early January, we see growth in the market, right? So that was 2012. Now if we go ahead and zoom out of this and we come over into 2016, what do we see? Well, we can see here once again we had the US election. We had a little bit of green leading up into it, a little bit of stagnation, but stale kind of market just into the US election. Green coming into the end of the year, a little bit of a pull to the downside in inauguration day, so actually a little bit later, and then bam, we're off to the races in 2017 into the bullish market. So we can see the US election, inauguration day, liftoff, right? That's 2 out of the 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at 2020. Okay, here in 2020, what do we see? Well, we can see right off the bat here, we have the US election happening right here. We push up, we have a little bit of volatility, a little bit of kind of nothingness happening towards the end of the year, get into inauguration day, which actually happens in and around this area right here. Okay, so a little bit of a blip for inauguration day and then lift off where we go up into all-time highs. Okay, now if we pull that into kind of contrast with everything that we've been talking about previously, what else has happened here? Well, every single time after the US election, 1 year after the US election, okay, in the last 3 times we've seen the peak of the bull market. Okay, and it's happened in Q4 every single year after the US election. Election years this year, 2025 is the year after. Q4 would put us somewhere at around $120,000 to $130,000 BTC. Okay, so based on everything that we see here, what are my expectations? Well, my expectations are that we're going to see a bit of green coming into the US election. We can already see how this market has been playing out, right? A little bit of volatility leading into the US election. We'll see some green. We'll probably see a cooling off. And as we go into inauguration day, around the kind of first and second week of January, we're going to be looking for a liftoff up into really phenomenal all-time high numbers. Now, of course, we are quite far along, right? And these price predictions that I have could potentially be, really, really kind of small, and it might actually blast on through, or we might have something very similar to kind of what we saw back here in 2021, where we have a double top situation kind of occurring, in which case we tap up into the higher range, we cool off, and then we move up in towards the end of Q4, getting a final all-time high before consolidating back down. No one is kind of complete crystal ball on what exactly is going to happen here, because obviously the markets are a little unpredictable, right? But if we do repeat history, we're looking for a bull market peak in Q4 of 2025 for BTC. And of course, many of the altcoins will follow suit as well. My expectations are we see green when it comes to the US election. And then from there, we do go into a bit of a cooling off period for the latter part of Q4. And then as we go into 2025, inauguration day, we might see a little bit of a blip there. But ultimately, I think we're going to be looking for liftoff in BTC's price action. Of course, it's just my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts as I see it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server that's linked in the description. And guys, if you have found this video helpful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, guys, check that video out right there. It's not one that you want to miss.